Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Black Excellence in Healthcare White Coats and Real Talk podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the journeys of Black trailblazers that are in the healthcare field. And tonight's episode, I have a very special guest, but I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all.
Hi, my name is Dr. Farah Laurent, and I'm a nurse entrepreneur, nurse career coach, podcaster, author, event host, mom, all the things, content creator. So I can't wait to get in this conversation with all of you.
That seemed like a long list. An amazing list, though. Okay, so can you share your academic background, credentials, and your professional experience on what, led you into the healthcare field?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got my bachelor's of nursing in Canada, the traditional 4-year program.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went to school in Canada. So it was a good experience. The student body was diverse, but the faculty was not diverse. So I had some trouble with some of the faculty. I was very outspoken in the program. I knew what I wanted. I used to watch Trauma Life in the ER as a nursing student. And I was like, I want to be one of those badass nurses. And of course, the old school mentality. I had an instructor who literally laughed in my face and was like, you'll never be an ER nurse. You should stick to med surg and you're too unorganized. So for a moment, I was like, oh my goodness. Here we go with this faculty member who's supposed to be supportive and inspiring, who's telling me that I can't. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, you know what? Who is she to tell me what I can and can't do? I was like, watch me. I'm going to go into the ER. So that's what I did. Not only did I get one ER offer, I got 2 offers. I had the luxury of getting my last rotation in the ER. I was very strategic. So made great relationships. Absolutely loved it. And then I promised myself that I would later become a cool educator and inspire the next generation to start wherever they want to start. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. I left Canada after 5 years. I was like, what big city can I move to? Moved to New York City, did travel nursing there for quite some time. And then I transitioned into education. Naturally, I was always coaching, mentoring students. It took me a while though, because of a lot of, workplace, favoritism and mm-hmm. all the drama and the discrimination. But I fought to get my educator positions. Not only did I get one, I got 2 educator positions after being told I didn't have the soft skills to be an educator. So became an educator. Fast forward, went into some leadership positions. Even after being told I couldn't be a leader because I didn't have a assistant nurse manager role, a nurse manager role. And I'm like, no, I'm not going that route. I'm going straight into leadership. And I went straight into director roles. So nobody can tell me nothing. Okay.
Period. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I got an MSN in education while I was pregnant with my son, still working in the ER. I got my MSN in education. Later, after he was born, started transitioning into those educator director roles. Mm-hmm. Quickly found out the higher you get in leadership, the more resistance you get, right? When you're trying to advocate in these C-suites. And I wasn't very well liked, but I didn't really care because I was there to not make friends, but to advocate for patients and, the staff. So, quickly within 5 years, I got laid off 3 times from high leadership positions. I decided I was going to go back, get my doctorate. So I would have that. My daughter was just a few months old when I got the doctorate. And I was like, you know what? Let me just start a business too while I'm at it. So I was working full time, going to school for a doctorate. My daughter was a few months old and started my nurse career coaching business because I said I wanted something to fall back into entrepreneurship and make my own way. Right. So really, I've always been a kind of a non-traditional rebel type when it comes to nursing and just shattering old school narratives. So that's what I'm about, is really helping nurses see that there are different paths to nursing. And one of those paths is entrepreneurship. And I even started my own conference. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Woo! That's amazing. First and foremost, I want to say I'm extremely proud of you. I'm extremely proud of you. That's some paved way. Okay. That's some paved way. So I want to ask you, so what actually inspired you to get into nursing in the first place?
Yeah. So I think like most of us, I was always kind of a nurturer growing up, always was interested in like helping people when they're sick. And it didn't bother me to see blood and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I was always playing with my dolls. So I naturally knew I wanted to be in healthcare, but I didn't know I wanted to be a nurse until probably high school. It was either become a nurse or become a photographer or a professional dancer. So I was like, I'll probably become a nurse. I used to do like choreography, me and my friends. I'm like, maybe that's not for us. So yeah.
Okay. You still dancing? Are you dancing?
Yeah, I do. I do like to dance. Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. That's a good stress reliever too, as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Good exercise too. Good exercise. Mm-hmm. I'll be dancing away. Never was a choreographer or anything like that, just in my own little personal space.
Yes, it's good for you. I love music. So
me too. Mm-hmm. Yes, music is very therapeutic. Oh. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you, you say now that you have started your own, business and you're an entrepreneurship, can you discuss like any milestones or challenges you may have faced while you was navigating through entrepreneurship, from? Yeah.
So really, I think early on, I didn't even know this, but like naturally my dad was an entrepreneur my whole life and I didn't even see it. He started different businesses when I was young. So I think I get a little bit of that from him. And of course, fast forward in nursing school, I think people that are real big advocates and don't like the way things are run, like the status quo, typically they get drawn to entrepreneurship because, what does it give you? It gives you creativity, freedom, and the ability to create your own paths. Nurses are natural problem solvers. So, that's kind of what I saw in entrepreneurship. So the challenges definitely in the beginning was building a personal brand. I didn't know anything about personal branding when I first started. And then it clicked in my head. The reason I also didn't climb up the corporate ladder in nursing very well is because I didn't manage my personal brand as a nurse. Later, when I went into business, I realized the importance of brand building. Okay. And I actually developed my own framework around it, but it has to do with really reputation, how people perceive you, and building trust, right? Because people do business with people. So I had to learn all the business foundations, marketing, switching your mindset from an employee mindset to a business mindset, which a lot of people struggle with, and move away from hourly pricing to value-based pricing. So some of those challenges were big, I would say mindset, and then figuring out while still working full time, how am I going to build this business? So it was a lot of late nights, a lot of working on my breaks or lunchtime, taking clients during those times and just starting to be visible, doing speaking engagements, creating content, having my own podcast, such as yourself, networking and things like that. And really, I think that was the challenge to know that I can do it because I always say entrepreneurship is rooted in faith. If you don't believe in yourself, in your ability. And also I really believe, I'm not going to get into faith in God, but I truly believe when God puts something in you, a vision, you will figure it out. And that's kind of what's been the path to entrepreneurship for me. Yeah.
Amen to that. I be trying not to put God and religion into it, but I can't help it. Yes. I can't help it, especially when you're a firm believer,
Yes. It's faith. It's faith based.
Yes.
It's faith led. If you don't believe in yourself, your business is not going to grow or thrive, right? And you have to have that vision and that faith.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So, the basis of this podcast is Black excellence in healthcare. So, what do you think Black excellence in healthcare mean to you personally and professionally?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's a loaded question, but I think, Black excellence is really education is number one. I always talk about real topics, right? So in healthcare, we know there's a lot of issues, right? Like racism in healthcare, discrimination for the communities we serve and ourselves as professionals. I actually wrote a piece in the AJN. I got an opportunity to write a DEI column about how diverse nursing candidates often struggle to advance in nursing. And why is that, right? Oftentimes we don't have sponsorship. Sometimes we have mentorship, but we don't need more mentors. We need sponsors, people that will back us up and say, hey, speak our names in rooms to make sure that we get elevated to the next level. So that's what we need in terms of Black excellence. And, people always say when you move up, you should also pull up others with you. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of what is missing in nursing and healthcare is more diverse leaders and also more sponsorship, right? That we need to really help each other. And there's a lot of gatekeeping sometimes. So I think that's another one. And of course, community. We need community in healthcare. That's important. So that's why I even created the Nurses Making Business Moves conference. And it's a whole movement. And it's not just focused for nurses or advanced practitioners who want to make an impact in nursing, but it goes beyond just the bedside. Nothing wrong with bedside, but I always say we don't talk a lot about financial literacy in healthcare and for professionals. If we want to make an impact in healthcare, we need to learn how to lead, create movements, and generate income. There's a lot of economic, right? Like economic wealth equals influence and impact, and you can't have health if you don't have wealth. You know what I'm saying? So I think even though we're super educated as a profession in nursing, we also need to move outside of nursing and learn about business, learn about marketing so that we can tap into different things, whether it's starting a nonprofit, starting your own telehealth practice or whatever you want to do so that you can make a bigger impact. So really that's what I see Black excellence in healthcare is going beyond the traditional ways, and there's so many different opportunities out there and not to be afraid of being visible and building an impact. When I say visible, meaning things like you're doing, this podcast, speaking about real issues, going to conferences, being a speaker, being on media, because we need to educate the public about what nursing does and recruit more people to our profession because we also need to uplift our profession in a positive light. So that is what I think Black excellence in healthcare is. I know it was long.
That was amazing. I mean, everything you said was so true. Like, it is so true. Like, branding, because you are your brand. You are your brand. Branding and visibility. And most importantly, networking too. Like all of those things. And I honestly agree with you about us nurses being more educated outside of just doing nursing. We do need to know the business aspect of it. We do need to learn the business aspect of it because that's the way
and even
more impact.
For nursing students, the last conference I had, I invited some nursing students to attend and they were blown away by the different things they saw because not only do I invite nurses who have businesses and have different varied careers, but I also invite, people that are experts in pitching and marketing on, speaking, different things like that so that they can get a wide idea. And it normalize, again, hear me out, normalize nurses making money. Okay? Because for some reason, it's like, oh, we're in a profession of service, helping people. And it's almost like taboo to talk about money and financial, literacy and all those things. But this is where I wrote this book called Nurses Making Money Moves.
Okay.
To starting a business. And even if you don't want to start a business, you need to learn the language of money and negotiate your offer and all of those things. There are nurses that can't even retire and they have 2-3 jobs. I used to have 2-3 jobs and we want to move away from that. So this is what I talk to the nursing students about. Don't be afraid to negotiate and really empower them to also have more confidence, because that is what's going to take them further in their career, and also building that personal brand, the networking, and all those things that were not taught in nursing school.
That's amazing. Now tell the audience about this conference. Tell them how they can get your book, about the conference. Like, you sit here just, you say one thing, like, oh yeah, my book, and bring that back, okay?
Bring it back. So this is a workbook. So actually people have gotten this book and started, like, registered their actual business. So it takes them through from idea to actually implementation and starting a business, right? So I always talk about building service-based businesses for nurses are the easiest things you can do. Consulting or coaching. A lot of times we're giving our intellectual property away and somebody wants to pick our brain, or this company wants to talk to us, when we should really have a consulting company where we're charging them for our intellectual property. So I go through all this in the book. You could go to nursefarah.com to purchase that book. I'm actually working on a second book about branding, so more to come on that. I have I'm gonna bring it all out. I have a journal called the 90-Day Gratitude Journal.
Okay.
My name is not on it, but if you go on Amazon and you type in Dr. Farah Laurent 90-Day Gratitude Journal, you'll find it, because I think we need to get back to gratitude in nursing, right? So that's one aspect. And then Nurses Making Business Moves, that's the website for my business conference. So I'm looking at dates for March 5th and 6th in New York City.
Okay.
So that is when the next one is going to happen. And I'm thinking of doing more like a business mastermind workshop style. So March 5th and 6th, save the date for 2027.
You're going to have to give me that information. I'm going to come.
Yes. And the importance of, as well, of, nurses understanding that you have to invest in yourself. So, as a nurse career coach, I'm making such an impact on these lives of these new nurses, because nursing school doesn't teach them how to market themselves, how to speak in an interview, how to negotiate. They don't know any of that. And they don't even tell them that, hey, you should start applying as a nursing student. They think they have to wait till they pass their NCLEX, pass their boards, and then start applying. But it can take anywhere from 6 months to 9 months to get a job. So now they're sitting around for 6-9 months with no job. So what I do is I help them shorten that gap and get them hired in less than 90 days in their preferred specialty areas like the ICU, the ER, labor and delivery, psych, you name it. I help them basically throw out all their old school ideas about paying their dues in med-surg. Nothing wrong with med-surg. But if you want to start in the ICU, let's get you to the ICU. If you want to work with some babies, let's get you over there in the NICU. Why not?
Why not? That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what I do. And for that, they can go to my website, nursefarah.com. Look up the new Nurse to Dream Role course. I actually have a course that's perfect for nursing students. And then if they want to work with me, they could just book a call, or they can join my free webinar that I have every week, typically every week. It's called newnursejob.com. And I'll give you all the links.
Okay.
So the people can have it. But I'm just excited about the future for nursing and for them.
It sounds amazing. And what you're doing is most definitely well needed. Most definitely well needed. So speaking of that, what's like some advice that you would give aspiring nurses who want to, become a nurse?
To get into nursing, like before they get in? I say dream big. Don't follow traditional, paths if you don't want to. And I just did a TikTok video on this. I say, if you don't want to be a generic candidate, don't listen to generic advice. Right? That's what it is, right? And don't be afraid to invest in yourself, right? Because I always talk about, do you want to be basic or you want to be premium? Because in my coaching program, we don't do basic. And we come big, like go big or go home. Why would you settle for less? Do not settle for less. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wait years until you get your, where you want to be. And don't let people make you feel guilty. If you want to start as a school nurse, awesome, be a school nurse. If you want to start in the community or public health, don't let people make you think, oh, if you don't start in the hospital, you're not going to have the skills. And if you want to go back, you're not going to be able to go back. Like, get rid of all that negativity, get rid of scarcity mindset, and move more towards abundance and growth mindset. And what's the worst that can happen? Let's say you get into a specialty that you don't like. Switch.
Go to another one.
And you don't have to wait a year. Some people think that, oh, I have to wait a year because I have to put a year on my resume. No, you don't. You don't. That's my biggest advice. And then, of course, start building a personal brand in nursing school. Get on LinkedIn, start networking in person and online, start gaining leadership. Like, there's a lot of organizations for nursing students where, they build leadership skills, and then get into where you want to be. So, for example, if you want to be an ER nurse, become a PCT in the ER as a nursing student so you can position yourself for success, especially in the hospital you want to work at. Say you can't get a job, at least volunteer, because you will have that proximity to people where you want to connect with. So you can go up to a nurse manager, talk to them, and start building those relationships early. And then you literally just say, hey, I'm about to graduate. I want to work on your unit. Let's go.
Right. That's why networking is so important. You got to make yourself visible. That's why visibility is so important. Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
Everybody is so afraid these days. Like, just ask and have a conversation. Mm-hmm. That's it.
So on each one of my podcast episodes, I do a segment called White Coat Confessions. So that is where we want to dive into your business, doctor. And we want you to share with us like a personal truth or a lesson that kind of shaped you into the woman that you are today.
Okay.
Something that don't nobody know about you or nobody close knows about you.
I mean, one lesson is it's kind of both ways. Don't be too stubborn not to be coachable. Early on in my career, I was not very coachable. I didn't like feedback like most people, right? Okay. But the older you get, the more mature you get, you realize like, listen, maybe I need to listen to this person, because I do talk a lot. I do, say off the cuff stuff sometimes, and I'm a little bit blunt. But that's just who I am, right? But sometimes I think really listening to people and taking that coachable feedback and implementing it, both in nursing and just in life. And then the other thing is sometimes not listening to people and just following your gut, right? So like that conference that I wanted to do, most people are just stuck in planning phase. And I used to be like that, overthinking, stuck in planning. And you think everything needs to be perfect, but it doesn't before you execute. Most people will sit on an idea for about a year, 3 years, 5 years, and they don't do anything. Mm-hmm. For me, now it takes days. That conference that I pulled off, my first conference, I had never put an event together. Something kept telling me, like it was God speaking to me, like, do this event. Within 6 days of that idea, I put it into execution, and I pulled off the conference in less than 3 months with no sponsors and had about 70 to 80 people show up.
That's amazing.
So execution. Stop overthinking.
I had that overthinking problem. I still got a little bit, but I'll be like, hey, just do it. Just do it. And I'll be trying to tell people that too, like, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. It's not going to be perfect. If you keep waiting on perfect, you're going to miss your opportunity. The next thing you know, somebody else may came up with the vision.
Put it out ugly and fix it later.
Fix it later. Okay. Yes. And fix it later.
And I read this book. It's called The by Alan Dibb, the one-page marketing plan. Again, it's about execution and putting things out before you miss your opportunity.
Mhm.
And it says 80% out the door is better than 100% in the drawer.
I like that.
Yeah.
Y'all can repeat that one more time.
So 80%, right, out the door is better than 100% in the drawer. People just wait too long and miss their opportunities. So just put it out. It's fine.
I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. So now we finna do rapid fire. So you ready?
Okay.
Because now this is kind of my favorite part of the show, kind of something that I kind of just started and incorporating it into this. You know, I'm going to ask you some quick questions and you're just going to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
Ready.
Coffee.
Born ready. Let's go.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Woohoo! One word that describes your journey.
Gosh. Roller coaster.
I like that. Mentor or self-made?
Both.
Both. Okay.
I'm about to be a self-made millionaire in a little bit.
What is one of the biggest risks you ever took?
I would say probably putting on this conference the first time because I invested all my money into it and it was all self-funded. Mm-hmm. And it was a big impact. And also I think even though sometimes we think in terms of return on investment, sometimes in monetary terms, but there's other ways that you put in that ROI. Sometimes it's in branding, trust building, building your authority. And I think that was my biggest risk.
Okay. Legacy or lifestyle?
Lifestyle, because we live in it now, baby.
I love it. I love it. What keeps you motivated on tough days?
My kids.
Them kids, ain't they? Them kids.
Yep. Even though sometimes they get on my nerves.
They get on my nerve. My kids. Let's say they got
do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids. What's one habit that changed your life?
Executing. Just doing it. That's it.
Okay.
And creating content.
Okay.
I spend hours and hours a week creating content. And whether you're wanting to, be a speaker, start a business, grow in nursing, being visible in person, like going to events, connecting with people in person, there's nothing like it, but also creating that personal brand with that visibility and content creation. Nothing like that. It's unlocked so many different opportunities for me on LinkedIn and speaking opportunities, so many different things. Oh, and I'm also a keynote speaker. Forgot to say that.
Okay. Don't be leaving nothing out. Okay. She's like, I do so much. Look, all these amazing things. That's awesome too as well. So if you wasn't in healthcare, what would you be doing?
Probably something in the travel business. Traveling. Yeah, like those shows where like the ladies would like go visit hotels and spas and then get paid for it and eat all this good food and get massages. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay, I want you to finish this sentence for me. Success to me means
whatever I want it to mean in whatever season I'm in. And I just create it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, that is amazing. Okay. That was the rapid fire. And you brought the fire too. You brought the fire. So before we wrap up, I want you to let the audience know how they can follow you, get in contact with you, your social media handles, again, your website that they can come, if they want to book a session with you and things like that.
Yeah, I can't remember it all, but the best thing, honestly, just Google me. Just put Dr. Farah Laurent, the only one of me, the one and only. And then go to nursefarah.com. And then LinkedIn is probably the best platform to connect with me on. Dr. Farah Laurent, 1R. You'll find me on LinkedIn all day, pretty much every day creating content. But literally, yeah, just Google me and go to nursefair.com. That's where they can find me. And I'm in the East Coast in Jersey, and I'm going to be doing more events, you know, as time comes on. I'm actually going to be doing an event. I already booked it today. You see how quick I move? I literally went to get some food, some Thai food. And I was like, I'm going to book your event space because I'm going to create on June 13th, a workshop for new graduate nurses and senior nursing students on June 13th of this year to do a workshop on how they can get hired faster, build their personal brand, and make six figures getting in their preferred specialty. So it's going to be in New Jersey, and I'll have that information for everybody very soon. Okay. It's happening.
All right. Well, I want to truly, truly thank you for joining White Coats and Real Talk podcast. It has been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And for the audience that's listening, I hope you all gain some insight, knowledge, inspiration from the doc, because she was giving y'all some gems. I hope y'all was listening. And of course, I'm going to drop all her information for you all to contact her too as well. And make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this podcast, other episodes, not just this episode. Subscribe, like, share, tell your family, friends, loved ones, all of the above. Make sure you subscribe to the Alive Podcast Network, which is an all-Black podcast platform. It's amazing. You're going to love it. It has a lot of other amazing Black podcasters on there too as well.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yeah. And also, I do got 2 books too. Make sure y'all grab my books off Amazon. How to build your brand as a nurse practitioner and your RN to NP transition blueprint. So you can grab both of those off Amazon. And of course, you can follow me on all social media handles at Dr. Angel White. Until the next episode.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Go out there and be fabulous, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.